get things started. Cause we ain't got no time to waste, I don't mind.
Hey, what is up, guys? Welcome to the channel. If you're new, be sure to subscribe. We're going to be doing a tier list update, as well as talk about Dorothy's kit, because she's kind of power creeping the game when it comes to Burst 1. So if you're new, be sure to subscribe to Vader's channel. And if you'd like to see my channel on the 7 side of things, it'll be in the link in the description below. On top of that, we do have a shop. If you're interested in some volume and or Vader clothing, make sure to check out the shop. So let's go ahead and get into Dorothy. She's a supportive type, Burst 1 assault rifle pilgrim. That's pretty much the best way to wrap it up. So let's go over her skills. Her skill 1. When attacking with the last bullet, all allies burst cooldowns by 1.56 seconds. When attacking with the last bullet, if you are in manifestation mode or state, all allies when attacking enemies parts, damage dealt increased by 50%. Maintains for 5 seconds. So she's got a little bit of D's kit in her, where she's gonna do part damage, which is really good. Her burst, or her second skill, is to all enemies, focus distributed damage equal to 216% of attack power. Okay, that's pretty cool. And then her burst, her actual burst. This is quite a this is all level 10 skills, by the way. This is a lot taken. To my self-expression, change the cooldown of skill 2 to 2 seconds. Maintain for 10 seconds. Specialization, maintain for 10 seconds. 2-1 designated enemy target. Twisting during the maintenance time. The damage received by the corresponding enemy is accumulated. After the maintenance time ends, the damage is distributed to all enemies according to the total damage. Oh my god. The maximum accumulated amount of damage possible is 8,900% of the skill or of the skill caster's attack power, maintained for 10 seconds. Okay, she's kind of busted. Okay, so my tier list. I went through and updated my tier list. For those who are wondering, she's ridiculously strong. She feels like an actual unit that will power creep the game. Like beyond every character release, she's just better than everyone, right? Her ult's also on a 20-second cooldown. Keep that in mind. And her burst 2 is also like just gonna be instantly just refreshed because of how her ult works with it. She's very synergistic with her own kits. All right, so here's the tier list. You have Dorothy in triple S tier. She's just like the best unit in the game. I would recommend you guys summon for her. Even if you're not a big fan of her design, she's so good that I don't think you have a reason not to summon for her. One, she's a pilgrim, so she's already harder to get. Get her while she's got the rate up. On top of that, she's just better than every other burst 1 in the game. On top of it, just better than every unit in the game. So I put her in her own tier because she's just that unit to be the power creep unit, right? It happens, gotchas get power creeped, and she's the power creep for us. So SS tier is Scarlet and Modernia. Still very good. I actually went to S tier and lowered Litter, because Litter, there has to be a gap between Litter and Dorothy, like a 1-tier gap, because of the difference in power that she's providing. Litter's still going to be good for the tower, for the missiles tower. She's going to be good in content that requires multiple teams. But when it comes to just overall main team, for like your story, for your main tower, in general, Dorothy's going to be a unit that you use 90% of the time because she's just that much better than Litter. Is Litter bad? No, she's still good. She was power crept. It's gonna happen. So S tier: Litter, Senti, Privity, Noise, Rapunzel, Snow White, Guilty, Dala, Pepper, Maxwell, Rupee, Helm, Alice, Drake, Sugar, D, Aaron. Right? They're all really good units. I think anything in A tier and up is just, they're usable. You can use them for the most part. I should have lowered volume into B tier because there's a gap between her and Litter, but it's okay. For the purpose of the video, it doesn't matter. Volume should be in B tier. I think you can argue her in A, but like, as long as you know the pecking order, that Dorothy's number 1, Litter's number 2, and then from there you can kind of fill in whichever unit like after that. It's fine, right? So A tier is Noah, Fairy, Power, Viper, Volume, Polly, Soda, Novel, and Lapis. Nothing's really changed. And then you've got your B tier, which is Makima, Diesel, Biscuit, Coco, Milk, Miranda, Eula, Quincy, N102, Edme, Vessi, and Jackal. Or Jack. Jackal, yeah. Um, so there you guys go. That's the, I guess the anything below tier B tier, I would argue needs a buff. Like the devs need to go back and actually buff their kit. Unfortunately, Sakura is a B tier unit and needs a buff. It is what it is. She was released not too long ago, but her kit just overall just wasn't super great. She's very niche, and even her niche, you can find better replacements. So at least she's not as bad as Crow. Crow is dead last as an SSR. Some units just don't get good kits, or the devs just don't really understand their game yet, and their kits are just not flushed out enough to really make it to where they have an impact, right? Like, for example, Rupee Winter Shopper, just another flawed unit, right? With this defense thing, it's not panning out so good for the defense, right? So to break down what's gonna happen, for you guys, Dorothy is going to be the unit you need to get in your account. Now we are getting a collab probably after Dorothy, sometime around after Dorothy. It's the Nikke collab. We have no information on their or how many units are going to be in, or if it's just one unit with their kit. I assume the unit will be at least an A tier unit. It seemed like the chainsaw collab did hold up on its end when it came to, you know, good units overall. They were generally just good units, nothing crazy, just overall usable, right? Which is good. Being a usable unit is all you can really ask for. Is she going to be on Dorothy's level? I don't think so. Dorothy's a pilgrim. Think of it as like a whole other rarity in the game. Like you have your SSRs and then you have your pilgrims. I would think of pilgrims more of UR characters than SSR characters because their rates are lower, right? They have lower rates and overall their value is a lot higher. Some pilgrims are not as super good, but for the most part, Scarlet, Modernia, and now Dorothy, they kind of set the stage for power, right? They're the three power units that everyone's gonna be using in their teams. I feel like a lot of teams are going to be just Dorothy, Scarlet, Modernia. You can slap Guilty as a burst 2, you can slap Doll as a burst 2, you can slap Ponzel or Senti as burst 2, and then you fill out the rest of your team, right? So you just throw an extra unit on the team for damage. It's like, for me, it's gonna be Dorothy, Scarlet, Modernia, and Trinity, and my burst 2 is going to be Guilty. Something like that. It's just going to be full power. If you need a revive unit, obviously Rapunzel is very good. If you want more damage on your team, Dala is very good. If you want just damage in general, Guilty's good. If you want some protection, Senti can hold that up, right? The burst 2 is very flexible. I assume the next unit we get for Pilgrim will be a power creeped burst 2 units, because they do seem to be bringing these bringing Pilgrims into kind of set the standard of like they're number one in this burst slot, right? We've already got number one burst 3 units, which are 2 pilgrims. Now we have a number one burst 1 unit, which is a pilgrim. I assume the next burst 2 unit we get will be a pilgrim, and she will be the best burst 2. I don't know what the unit will be. It could be a mix of many characters. If you think about Dorothy, she's kind of a mix of multiple characters. She's got a little bit of a D in her. Giggity. She's got a little bit of a litter in her. Like, she's just a mix of very powerful characters, right? On top of it, she's doing her own thing. So maybe the next Pilgrim will be like a mix between Senti and Dala and Guilty, where they're doing massive damage on they're by themselves. They're providing some protection and they're increasing your damage overall. Maybe. I don't know. That would be like the perfect burst 2 unit, obviously. There needs to be flaws, but apparently not, because they made Dorothy and she's like the perfect unit, right? So I don't know. This is the tier list. I hope you guys like it. Let me know if you have any questions about it. Pretty much anything in B tier is usable. It's just their niche to like their own thing. So like, for example, Makima and Jackal are just like niche to being used in PvP exclusively. You have N102, which could be argued up to A tier. She's technically like a miniature litter, just worse. And then you have like your Miranda, which is going to set up the Snow White team. Now I wonder if Dorothy will just be better in that slot. You know, like they have their niches, right? And then anything in C, D, and F just need to be buffed, unless they're SR units or R units. I think any SSR in the C, D, or F tier should get buffed. So that leaves like Maiden needs to buff, Seaton needs to buff, Folkwain. Like, just go down the list. Anything that's an SSR needs a buff, right? And yeah, I think that'll do it. I'm excited to summon for Dorothy. I will be summoning for Dorothy. I might chase a dupe of her just to have a dupe, but I don't know yet. I have undecided because I'm not going for like max breakthrough, even though she's probably worth it. It's just hard to know what's coming after her. And with this being the 0.5 anniversary, I don't suspect any other power creep until the 1 year anniversary, I suspect strong characters, unless like S tier, maybe a random SS tier unit. But for the most part, I don't expect another triple S tier character until the first anniversary. That's 1 year. That marks the 1 year marker, and I assume it's going to be a Pilgrim. So thanks for watching, guys. If you're wondering if you should summon for Dorothy, if you don't, you're kind of dumb, in my opinion, because she's so strong. So I'll talk to you later. Peace.